Good morning everyone, we are at Santolan LRT station, or just outside to be precise. You'll see there's already a queue of commuters building up ready to board the buses that are acting as a replacement rail service. One of the minor issues they're having this morning is cars are stopping here to unload and then obstructing the buses from moving forward. So I think that's something that the MMDA will have to take care of. As soon as the LRT started experiencing problems, the DOTR and LTFRB issued special permits allowing the bus operators to run this replacement service. So all these security guards are from the LRT, and I have to say, so far they appear to be doing a good job of controlling the crowds, getting them on the bus, explaining to them how much it's going to cost. So good job on the training. And if you're curious, from here Santolan LRT to Cubao, it's 15 peso minimum. And you'll see right now the guards are enforcing a snake queuing system that goes like this. I think what they might need to do is invest in some ropes and some barriers, because it's going to be very hard to manage this once the crowd starts to swell, and people might feel that it's unfair or that people are jumping the queue. Because if there's no barrier, I'm sure some people are going to start switching around their positions. Of course, there's also MMDA here to provide support and to manage traffic. Plus they have their own trucks that are offering free rides to commuters. And I just noticed on one of these buses here, there's a lady driver. Hi ma'am, good morning. It's actually a little bit unusual to see lady drivers, although certain incentives have been given in the past to try and get more female drivers into the buses. For example, a coding exemption. So instead of having their buses sit in their depot when they can't drive, they'll say, hey, if you have a female driver, she can take you out. So it's a good little incentive. It's just before 6 AM. There's not too many commuters here yet, but the traffic is already starting to build up. In fact, those Jasper Jean buses are still here waiting, and the number of commuters is steadily increasing. And you might be wondering, why aren't they getting on the buses? The problem is that these buses don't have the required special permit from DOTR, LTFRB. And as much as everyone on the ground wants to push them on the bus and send them on their way, they're not allowed to do it if they don't have the right permit. And what happens if something goes wrong? Thankfully, you can see a modernized Jeep from Beep has just arrived. And another bus over here being loaded up. They are prioritizing senior citizens, PWDs and those with children, and then everyone else. It's minimum fare, like I mentioned earlier, 15 peso. So whether you're going to Katipunan station or Cubao station, it's 15 peso. And you'll see one of the MMDA shuttles just arrived. This is libreng sakay, which means it's free to ride. I think they have 2 shuttles like this, and then some of the military style trucks are offering the same service. Morning, ma'am.
Hi, morning.
And you'll see the bus is almost empty now. Most of the passengers unloaded here at Oxford Street in Cubao. And actually I was expecting it to operate more like the LRT point to point, but actually how it's operating is more like a jeepney with people getting on and off along the route. And just approaching Cubao LRT, here you see the bus is completely empty except for the driver and his helper here. So as you saw there, the queue of people waiting to get into the Cubao LRT station is huge, and it continues all the way along the sidewalk. They have continued the train service today from Cubao to Recto. You'll see there's also some HPG here. They've been deployed to make sure everything runs smoothly and everyone's kept safe. Over there is another MMDA bus that's already unloaded its passengers. It's not the same one that I rode, it's a second bus. And you'll see there's also another IAC team here. This is Barracuda, the one you saw earlier was Task Force Alamid. And again, they're here to help commuters with anything they might require. And again, the security guards here are working on forming a queue, a snaking queue. And you'll see there's extra depots assigned to this area, also LGU enforcers. This one here is a regular enforcer. This one over here is a trainee. That's why the uniform is different. So this is where we started our morning in Santolan, then Katipunan, Anonas, Cubao, which is where we are now. And then the train service will go from Cubao to Recto, Recto to Cubao. And this portion here is only by bus service. of course, this will now be the final stop for this train, and all of the passengers who want to continue to Santolan will have to ride the bus service or find an alternative transport. There's a lot of Angkas coming through the area dropping off passengers, and someone from PTV told me that some private car owners have actually been offering free rides to commuters that they see stranded, and that's really great to know that everyone's willing to help those who need to get to work, need to get to school, need to get to their family. And here comes one of the replacement buses. They'll be unloading here. There's a little old lady coming off now. They have to help her. Hopefully she'll be okay. There we go. It's quite a high step. These are not low floor city buses, but I think, to be honest, people don't care. They just want to get where they're going, and this is their option right now. Under normal circumstances, the role of IAC would be more on enforcement, but today it's really more on traffic flow and handling the commuters, keeping everyone safe and keep everyone moving. And that's good to see, because you really do need to keep things organized. Otherwise things can become uncomfortable, things can even become dangerous. You might remember from my previous video, we were here with attorney Inton from Quezon City. He told us that this space here that's being used for parking is actually owned by the government, and they're thinking about converting this to a loading unloading area. And I think that would make sense, because there's so much congestion right in front of the LRT station, from motorcycles dropping off passengers, from jeeps dropping off passengers, and now of course the replacement bus service. So perhaps they should really consider, if this is possible, if they can really take this as a loading unloading, maybe moving up the timescale and doing it sooner than later. And on the other side of the LRT, you'll see they're loading up passengers going back to Santolan. So that was a relatively short video, but hopefully informed you about what's happening and what's being done to help commuters. Yes, things are going to be a little bit difficult for a while, maybe for too long, but everything's being done to help commuters that is possible.